Good morning, boys and girls. It's the weather report for April 29th, 2021.
2021.
Hey, I'm 25,681 days old. It's getting pretty serious. Hey, we gotta switch our view here a little bit. So, a couple things today. There was a hangout on Maddox's channel last night, and Smokey showed up. I don't know who they're picking on. Well, we'll get to that. But let's see. Dessel Drayce had a little bit on his channel, on the Dessel Drayce channel, and I think it's linked in the description on Ellen Watts and Buddhism and his critique of my Buddhism, which is...
You know, likey?
I don't understand it. I don't know what he's talking about. He keeps referring to the like he read some deep Buddhist passages in the I think it was the Sukkadam Kidik and the Fukkayumama, and he had some points that he made, and I'm not sure. I think those were the religious texts that he was referring to, particularly Sukkadam Kidik, which is something I revere as a Buddhist. Read it all the time. I don't know if you've heard any of these religious texts, but we Buddhists love our religious texts. There's like if you stacked them all up, I think they'd pretty much reach at least to the moon, if not halfway back again, with all the different sects and different ideas about what Buddhism is and what it all means. And I think what seems to offend Dessel most is this whole thing about separating yourself from desire, which is an interesting topic. So there's that. And then our friend Standing in Poop has some budhead on named Dr. Gordon Wilson. And I listened to a little bit of that. Did anybody else listen to any of this Dr. Gordon Wilson stuff?
No, I didn't. What kind of specialist is he supposed to be?
Well, yeah, it makes one wonder what the fuck is Dr. Gordon Wilson anyway. So I wonder if he made the rational wiki. Is he that famous? Huh?
Did you see what what video title he had last night?
Praise? What was his deal last night? Yeah, no, what did he do last night?
It's like take apart physicalism, naturalism.
Oh, yeah, okay, stuff. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch any of that garbage. So, were you there at all?
No.
Of course you were. You were?
No.
Oh, no, you weren't. You weren't on the stream last night?
Nope.
Nope. So here's Dr. Gordon Wilson. I think he has a Wikipedia article. Theologian. No, this is Douglas Wilson. Okay, that's not him. God damn it. I don't want the bio for every Wilson Google in the world.
That would be a lot of reading.
There's a few of them. Jesus. Rational Wiki, Encyclopedia of American Loons. Sel's pretty proud that he's in there. He's got an entry. Let's see. Wilson. Let's see. So did you catch any of Praise's stream?
Just this morning, I watched a few minutes of it.
What was happening? What great things have they come up with?
Just the lack of critical thinking. Or it's just by himself for the first few minutes.
What the hell?
He was reviewing some other video.
Okay, encyclopedia. Okay. So the Google link doesn't tell me who he is. What the hell? So, I mean, Google sends me to the Encyclopedia of American Loons, and it seems to be saying something about him, but it doesn't go to the entry. It's hard to find these guys.
We have a note from Stefan Mudd.
Yeah. Environmental and, okay, what is he? Environmental Science and Public Policy by George Mason. Yeah, he was talking about proteins and he wasn't making a whole lot of sense. He kept referring to Douglas Axe and his high probability estimates of functional proteins. And I don't think he understood Douglas Axe's paper, to be sure. He just didn't seem to. Here we
He's
go.
a creationist?
Huh?
So he's a creationist?
I think so. Christian Reconstructionist Gordon Wilson, creationist, pathogens, parasites, and predators. They
Jason
list.
Horn.
So I don't know. I can't find anything on this guy other than, but okay, I'll take Stefan Mudd's word for it. Awarded a PhD in environmental science. Good on him.
So I guess he's one of those creationists who goes and gets a degree and then says the opposite of everything he learned when he gets his science degree.
Science denier. Another science denier. But yeah, he didn't really have anything coherent to say. I listened to about 10 minutes of it, I think. And the man put me to sleep rather effectively, which I appreciate. He's got books, right? Did he write books?
I don't know.
Got it. I wish. Did Standing for Truth link anything about him? Show more. Let's see. Oh, articles written by Gordon Wilson. One. He lists, two articles. Okay. NSA.edu, and then another one in Answers in Genesis.
Now, Jason, I don't know. Jason is in climate science, isn't he?
What's that?
Well, Jason Torn, we met him the other day or maybe yesterday. I can't remember.
Yep.
And,
That's right.
He's an environmental science, isn't he?
Yeah, climate science. Yeah.
Well, maybe he can help us pin down who he is. I don't know. Or it may be significant that he doesn't know who he is. If he does. He does know him. Or I don't know what he's saying yes to. Jason, you're just going to have to come on.
Okay, he's part of Answers in Genesis. We got to put the link out there for interested people.
Jason has heard of the guy. Maybe Brainbug's heard of the guy.
Never. Okay, we got a big article. The most Beatles go anywhere, do anything. Latest articles by Dr. Gordon Wilson. Scorpions armed and dangerous. Birds' nests, fungus, high-flying eggs. Carrying past our prejudice.
I'll bet Brainbug's listening now.
He might be.
Mention a bunch of bug stuff.
I did. Cockroaches, the right creatures for the job.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So he's got a whole bunch of articles, but they're all for Answers in Genesis. So do you know this guy, this Gordon Wilson? Jason?
He said no, never heard of him.
Nope.
Hey, Jason.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
No.
He seems to have a thing for bugs. I'm looking at his stuff.
What's his name again? Gordon what?
Wilson.
And he's from George Mason, or he graduated from George Mason.
I guess
Yes.
so. Yeah.
That's what Stefan Mudd informed
Oh,
us.
wait a minute. This is interesting. Wait a second. He's at New St. Andrews College right now. Okay, if that's right, yeah. Okay, so not to out myself, but so my research. I work at the University of Idaho, and this guy looks to be at this place called New St. Andrews College, and New St. Andrews College is actually in Moscow, Idaho, where the University of Idaho is. And New St. Andrews College is renowned as like a Christian apologetics college. And I believe Doug Wilson is affiliated with, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I don't know if you've ever heard of Doug Wilson. He's a well-known, I don't want to say creationist. He's a Christian apologist.
Yeah.
I seem to remember he has some associations with New St. Andrews College. So,
He actually has a wiki article about him. Doug Wilson does.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm not surprised about that. I mean, I don't want to put New St. Andrews College down, but my understanding is that they're very much focused on like kind of, I don't know what the term is, but it's like utilizing the more classical interpretations of science and not really interested in modern approaches. And so they encourage like the readings of like the ancients, but not so much maybe some of the more modern scientific techniques. So anyways, I'm not surprised that I hadn't heard of the guy.
Yeah. Beatles go anywhere, do anything. That's got to be a really good article. Proving God.
Okay, so he looks like he got his BA or BS at University of Idaho and his MS in entomology from the University of Idaho. That's kind of interesting. I'm curious because I know a lot of entomologists at University of Idaho. I'm curious if they know who this guy is, but intriguing.
God has an inordinate fondness for beetles. By J.B.S. Haldane. Let's quote mine a little bit.
He's attributing inordinateness to God.
Yep,
It seems almost blasphemy.
it does. Well, I don't know if Haldane was one of their friends, but I don't know if he was a friend of the creationists everywhere. Everywhere you look on the ground, yeah, okay, there's beetles, so what? What the fuck? You know, who cares? Beetles. Lots of beetles. Mini tank can drill into trees. We know, yeah, okay, they're good at it.
Broke up.
Huh?
I thought the Beatles broke up.
Oh,
Sorry. Bad joke. Sorry.
You should be sorry.
Bad joke. Sorry.
Didn't we talk about raising the bar?
Ooh, and I just kind of lowered it a few, didn't I? I snapped the bar in 3 pieces.
Yeah, okay, so you wrote an article about beetles here. I'm waiting for the God part. Where's the God part going to grab us? Same design with amazing variety. Okay, no problem. Yep. Well,
I never understood why scientists, like if you're a scientist and you're religious, fair enough. There are certainly a number of scientists who have religious perspectives. Most of them do not intersect their religiosity with their scientific research. But when you do that, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I imagine that many scientists start to question your research if you're interjecting God statements into maybe more quantitative assessments of the natural world. That seems a little like you could believe in God, but maybe if you keep it out external to your research, then that's fine. But
yeah, you don't get published if you put God statements inside of your paper, and they complain about that, and they call it a conspiracy. But saying that magic, step 2 magic, basically, that cartoon, that famous cartoon. You're not going to get published if you do that kind of stuff. So I'm not surprised. But they claim that's a conspiracy. They can't put any God words or ID words or whatever. But and of course they can't, because it doesn't tell you anything.
I mean, hello.
Hi there, Midnight.
Sorry to interrupt you again, Speed. I'm just saying hello.
Yeah, last time you were on the stream, I can't. Let's see, where did I put it down? Okay, you interrupted me 27 times.
God, you counted?
Yeah.
God damn. But
And
Jason,
you're up to 2 today.
Where did I see you before here? Like, I don't know. I saw you into the stream and I was kind of interested. What do you do? What do you research? God damn it! My memory sucks.
No, that's totally fine. No, I do research in what's called quantitative climatology. So I use I'm a data scientist, and so I do a lot of modeling, so empirical modeling, statistical modeling, machine learning, but primarily associated with climate.
Oh my God, I love you. Sorry to interrupt you. I think you use Python, right?
Okay,
yeah, Python and R. Most I go back and forth between those two.
Should I keep track of you interrupting other people too, or just interrupting me?
Sorry, Speed. Hey, hold on. Would you rather I contribute nothing to the channel like Danny? Nothing? No,
I prefer you. I prefer
you. Thank you. See? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to criticize Danny because he got me a paper I needed through his student access. So Danny's all right on these guys.
Okay, Danny, I'm just fucking with you. Relax.
And he didn't charge me anything.
We love Danny.
Danny. I think I've interfaced with him. He seems. I mean, I don't necessarily. I don't agree with his perspective. I don't agree with his perspectives, but he seems very articulate, and if we're talking about the same guy, so
appearances can be deceiving. I mean, he's articulate to a point, but I personally think he does not do well for philosophy. He just, I don't know. Like many people already have a tainted view of philosophy, and people like him don't help. Just my view.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Okay, so we found fossilized water.
Fossilized water. Interesting. Sorry again for interrupting. I'm gonna mute.
No, I was actually interrupting. I'm sorry. I just noticed that Leo put a comment in there about Otangelo and him being a data scientist. So that's interesting. I didn't know Otangelo had a background in data science or machine learning or etc.
He has no background in
what?
Otangelo has no background in machine learning.
Oh, he's saying. Oh, I see what he's saying. Okay.
He says he's a machine designer or something. I'm not exactly sure what he says his trade is, and
I mean,
and what was the other one? Machine learning and data. He's definitely not a data.
I misinterpreted that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not really sure whether Otangelo does that. Like, you know what I mean? I guess there are easy questions you could ask him. You know whether he is a data scientist or something. I don't know. Like, regarding Python, what is a dictionary in Python? How do you do? Like, you know what I mean? Something simple that anyone could know if they use Python.
Or, yeah, I mean, and it may be that like Otangelo uses some, like, I think what Leo was implying about like using analogies around the like machines, I guess, and their functions, and its applications, I guess, to like.
Yeah, his position is the machines are in the nucleus or whatever. You have machines in the cell. You have factories in the cell. Blah blah blah. There you have the only precedent we have for machines is intelligence, and therefore an intelligence designed the cell, and that's his analogy, his teleological kind of approach to get to God.
Ooh, nice.
We've been reading a couple of papers on our Paper Trails series about how the cell is not like a machine, like people like to think, and because it's everything's so small, Brownian motion it comes into play, and it's like being cast in, I guess that what do they call it? That gel that they shoot bullets into. Oh well, I've seen it on forensic shows or whatever.
Ballistics.
Yeah, ballistics gel. It's just real thick and always moving and shaking, and everything's stochastic and unpredictable. It's just not the machine they think it is.
Cool. So they found some interesting water in the bottom of a mine, and it takes and it has some chemolithotropic microbes in it that feast on hydrogen and sulfate. And according to a dating method, it's 1.3 billion years old. Pretty cool. I have put that in the link. Put that in the description. Okay.
Are they going to bottle it and sell it, for a premium?
Don't give them any ideas, Scott.
Don't give
water. It has healing powers never before thought of.
Don't give the former president any ideas for cures for diseases. Because they'll probably be selling that shit. But anyway, so God, I don't know where it's like a smorgasbord today. I don't know which way to go. I don't have anything bookmarked except for maybe a little bit of Maddox. Did I have a little Maddox? That just seems like yuck. Who wants to do that? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
really
referring to Jason Tom's credentials, not Otangelo's, who has none as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he might, just not in the area he's trying to argue.
Yeah, I mean, like this, when they say like machine learning, essentially, typically we're just talking about like algorithmic modeling, like a model that can learn from its outcomes, and then those kinds of mathematical models can be used in a variety of different ways. They do them with computer vision. We use them for I use them like for agricultural outcomes. Like, can we predict the outcomes of wheat?
Right.
But certainly,
Sorry, if I can ask a question. You would agree that that using neural networks, you could design a general purpose learning, a machine learning, right? Where it's just it takes any kind of input and then makes connections through those input, and it learns that way. Like what you're talking about is programming machine, like a neural network, for a specific purpose. I'm asking about a general purpose. You know what I mean? General machine learning.
I mean, there's like in this type of empirical modeling, there's what's called supervised learning and unsupervised learning. And there are obviously other types of learning called reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
But you could think of supervised learning as where you have a history of some outcome, and then you're using that historical information to construct a model that then can go into the future. But an unsupervised model would be like, I don't really know, I don't have that historical information. But with regards to your question, typically like models in that capacity are difficult to formulate if you don't really have a known outcome. You're just trying to, in general, have a learning machine or a model that is learning. You need to have some method of evaluating whether the machine is actually, or the model is actually learning correctly, and evaluating the accuracy of that prediction. So,
right. But the reason why I asked that is, this is an analogy, although it works regarding the brain. You could say that the brain is for lack of it basically is a neural network because neurons, but you would say that the human brain is wired for general machine learning. Or I'm using the word machine,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, but I don't mean machine like Otangelo means it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the whole concept of like a neural network is the implication is to try to mimic neurons, of which in machine learning, a neuron is technically called a perceptron, which is it's just like a binary switch. And we have an equation that evaluates that. But neural networks in and of themselves, like convolutional neural networks, long short-term memory networks, they're all simplistic compared to the brain.
Well, definitely, yeah. But can't it be argued that a regular neuron is a perceptron? It just has more more binary switches.
Yeah, I mean the conceptual model of a neural network compared to the actual brain. I mean, there are a lot of similarities to that. It's not like identical. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There are a lot of.
I get it. I just like machine learning, neural networks, and AI has always fascinated me. Whereas many people are so afraid when you mention AI. They think of the Matrix, they think of the Terminator, they think no, that's not gonna happen. Relax. I mean, at worst, you could have. You could have an AI, programmed to turn matter into stamps, and then just goes fucking crazy because of the programming. It's not gonna become sentient.
Yeah, I mean, I think the greater concern would be like what we're seeing now in our economy, which is that companies can develop modeling techniques that will reduce their workforce, and therefore there's just less people to hire to do things that we now have a computer model that can effectively do. So
yeah,
that's kind of a way that this kind of technology is affecting our.
Well, I mean, you would always,
now.
You would always need programmers to look at the AI. So not every job is being affected. Just the jobs that don't matter, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, but here, not to go off on a tangent too much, but things like example, like a dentist. I mean, there are lots of people working on, can we develop machine learning that will allow somebody to work on your teeth?
I mean, interestingly,
that's difficult.
Sorry to interrupt, but interesting. I actually need to read the article, but I came across an article that said that there's a drug that could actually cause your teeth to grow back. So dentists better watch out. Their jobs are on the line. I gotta read that article because it's interesting. If they found a way to make teeth grow back, yeah, fuck that. No more dentists.
Well, if we can wrap our minds around the guaranteed minimum wage for everybody, a lot of these problems will not be problems. But everybody thinks that's communism or socialism for some reason.
No,
it's not.
I mean, if you want to, I'm not the best at economics, obviously. But the reason why, having a $15 minimum wage for everybody is bad, at least according to how I understand it, is that is that it raises prices up because companies have to make a profit as well. So if they're paying $15 to everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, where the fuck is that money going to come from? So that's why the products are going to go up. That's just how I understand it. Maybe I'm wrong. Moving on.
Who's going to buy the product?
Exactly the point. Who's going to buy the product? The prices are sky high. So having a minimum wage of $15.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I'm not really interested in having an economics debate right now. I was talking about machine learning.
Leo's really fun because he forgets to put his mic down.
I can't wait till I actually get my new bank card so I can order my mic that's going to be on a boom arm. Just I'd like to get that. But anyway,
So professional.
The common argument here is that well, if we raise minimum wages and prices go up and everything becomes more expensive, and it completely ruins the raise in the wages, except that we've raised the minimum wage 22 times in the United States, and that not once has ever happened anytime we've raised the minimum wage. Inflation will occur when you raise wages, but the thing is that when wages go up, inflation happens, but it doesn't happen at any level that would be near enough to offset the increase in wages. Where the wage will go up, even if incrementally by whole dollar amounts, the inflation that will result from that will be just mere cents. So because of that, we don't really have to worry about things being priced so high that the minimum wage would have been worthless. Another problem with that is that most companies aren't going to charge more for a product than what people are willing to pay. There's really only one type of market that you would find that take place in, and that is inelastic markets like transportation or healthcare, where it doesn't matter what something costs, people will purchase it anyway because it is requisite to the everyday living and survival of human beings. So only in inelastic markets will companies charge whatever they want, because in markets where the price curves are elastic, a company is not going to charge more than any consumer would reasonably pay. But the other thing I wanted to mention that's completely unrelated to economics, did anybody else here see the interaction that Aron Ra had yesterday on a Muslim channel? I can't remember what it was called.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
Many people say he got owned because it's philosophy.
I wouldn't word it that way, but
well,
yeah.
No. I'm saying many people are saying that. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah,
many
I'm
people
just
are like,
saying that that's just not. Yeah, that's people are saying that. He got owned. I wouldn't word it that. I don't know why people have to word things that way. It's weird. But yeah, if you watch it, and I can link it here if you just give me a couple seconds. You can. Aron is out of his depth. I mean, it is obvious, glaringly obvious that he is out of his depth.
So why did he accept it in the first place?
Because he probably. I don't think he was assuming that that's how the discussion, because it was called. Well, hold on here. Let me. The window will expand. It's discussion with Aron Ra. Does a necessary being exist? And they were their goal was to come at it from a philosophical perspective. The metaphysics and the ontology, not the empiric. And I just don't think that Aron Ra was prepared for that. And I love the guy to death. I think what he does is brilliant. I think he is an extraordinary individual and a brilliant individual. But I think that he is. The kindest way that I could word it is that he is woefully unsophisticated when it comes to philosophy.
Well, it's not what he does. Why would he be?
I understand that, but the problem that I would bring up, and that everybody that I've talked to that agrees with me, which is a lot of people have brought up, is that it's okay if you don't understand or don't like philosophy. The problem is when you engage as a skeptic online in debates and discussions with people on explicitly philosophical ideas, and you don't understand philosophy, which in Aron's case, I'm sorry to say, is what we're dealing with. That he engages with people talking about religion and theology and science and how science relates to religion and arguments about God's existence. I don't care what you believe or what you think, that those are explicitly, maybe not exclusively, but they are explicitly philosophical ideas. And if you're not well versed in philosophy, why are you engaging in philosophically based discourse?
Yeah, it's just
everybody wants to talk to Aron Ra, so they hammer him and pester him, and he comes on the show and he talks to him. So, and what you get is Aron Ra.
Well, I mean, yes, but I would just recommend watching the video, and I think that you will agree that Aron is clearly entirely out of his depth.
I saw one little 30-second portion in Lil Peepee's stream where he basically played a part where they were talking about something, and Aron Ra says, well, you believe in a sky daddy. And I thought that was like right on, because Aron just cut to because I want to, can you tell me how what they believe in is not well represented as sky daddy?
Well, I just don't think that relates
in heaven, for fuck's sake.
I just don't think that that's a rebuttal to any, because I know what part you're talking about. I just don't think that what Aron said is in any way, shape, or form a rebuttal to the argument that was laid out. You can disagree with the argument and think that it's not a substantive or a cogent argument, but if you're going to do that, then you need to actually address the argument.
Yeah, I agree
And
with Leo.
I don't think that Aron really addressed their arguments, because I think that a lot of what they were saying and the arguments that they were presenting or the questions they were asking him went clean over his head. Like, what was the gate's name? Abdul, the very first question right out the gate that he asked Aron was, since we're having a discussion, it's a theism versus atheism based discussion kind of. Aron, what is your epistemology? What does it mean for something to be justified to you? I mean, he was asking Aron about his epistemology, and Aron, he presented like what I would consider as a really, really half-assed attempt at presenting an epistemology. But I don't know if Aron understands the subject epistemology well enough to know what his established epistemology would be. Yeah,
it doesn't really help Aron Ra that he hates philosophy with a passion.
Yes.
Like I'm sorry. I understand both Peter's and his side. It's more than mental masturbation, but you still need to understand it. It's like, what the fuck?
This idea that philosophy is just because Aron and many other atheists, Peter as well, and I see this more in the new atheist circles, if anybody wants, I can make a distinction between new atheists and any other type of atheist.
It doesn't matter.
But anyway,
right now. Just go ahead.
The problem is that they seem to view philosophy as this tool that is utilized by those with poor arguments as a means of obfuscating in a discussion because they can't present an otherwise cogent argument, when that's not what philosophy is. They view that philosophy as this once great intellectual, I don't really want to use the word practice, that bore the torch of human progress, but it began to stumble, and when it tripped, science so valiantly picked up that torch and has now taken it further than philosophy could have ever hoped to, and that philosophy is now dead and useless and we don't need it anymore. And that's just straightforwardly false. And I think that they're poor. I think that the ways that they construe philosophy are a direct result of their poor understanding of it. And I think that this is why a lot of arguments that you see online atheists make are really bad arguments, because they don't understand philosophy very well.
Exactly.
I mean, at least he could just say he didn't. That's one of the things I have that Aron does, is that he gets really like agitated and he gets angry, but if there's no problem saying like there's some philosophical aspects like I don't understand, or I'm not up to that speed. And so just being willing to consider a topic, as opposed to being so, I feel like he gets a little pissed sometimes, and he should just bring it down a little bit. But anyway, that's just what I
suggest that the next time you bring your car in for repair, the first question you ask your mechanic is what he bases his epistemology and see how that works for you.
Well, okay.
Or the next time a cop pulls you over,
look, speed.
Yeah, just say, what is your epistemology? Ask him that and see how it works for you.
Well,
if you bring Aron Ra into your fucking channel, it's pretty similar to a cop pulling you over on the freeway. And
I failed to see the analogy there.
I know you would, Leo, but go ahead. I encourage you to go ahead and follow my experiment, and you will understand my analogy.
I understand that you're being pulled over. I understand that you are presenting somewhat of a joke there, and you're being a little bit hyperbolic, but that there is still a serious element underlying what you said that I do disagree with, and that is that the questions about what somebody's epistemology are just irrelevant to discussions. And I'm sorry, but that is not the case, especially with a lot of discussions that are had as it relates to God's existence, because whether or not an individual thinks that God exists or not, and how they came to that conclusion, whichever conclusion they happen to hold to, is often going to be a result of what they consider to be justification, how they interpret truth, how they view knowledge as it relates to belief. It's going to circle back fully to epistemology. So asking somebody in a discussion like that what their epistemology is, I think, is very, very important.
Okay. But then after they ask him what his epistemology is, and they have discussions with Aron Ra, then they will start to bring science and genetics and phylogeny to a fucking philosophy fight, right? Aren't they doing the same thing? And they make asses of themselves? No. Okay, so on Standing for Truth's channel, he never does that?
Wait, I'm not talking about Standing for Truth.
I don't know about these assholes.
What
I don't
what
know
I'm
who
saying
they
is
are.
that like that's why I encourage you to, when you get the time, to watch this exchange, because I think that once you watch it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That these were people that were very respectful. They were they were interested in having this discussion, and I just don't think Aron understood I don't think he understood the topic, or at least certainly didn't understand it from the framework that they were coming at this. Now, I'm willing to
Exactly my
concede,
point. What did they bring
I'm
them onto their channel for?
I'm willing to concede that perhaps they should have informed Aron prior to this that, hey, we just wanted to let you know that we are going to be hitting this problem from very much a philosophical perspective.
I mean,
But at the same time, they might not be familiar with Aron to the extent that some other people are, to know that he's does not like philosophy, and very frequently chooses not to approach things from a philosophical perspective.
Well, I actually have a question. Like, what if they knew that Aron Ra wasn't really the best at philosophy, and they brought him in just to
Just to
embarrass
make
him?
fun of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could talk about that, but I can't really comment.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I
if that
don't know
occurred.
them. I don't know them from a lead of paint, but
I'm
you know
pretty
what I mean?
sure
It's a
they didn't
possibility.
bring. I'm pretty sure they didn't bring Aron Ra in because they read his papers on epistemology, or they read his papers. I mean, why did they bring Aron Ra in?
That's a question for them. I mean, if you're just gonna out the gate assume that they brought him on only so that they could purposefully embarrass him by talking about philosophy,
Hold on.
then I don't know what to say. That's just very uncharitable, because in this discussion, all three of these men were very much respectful, and even were trying to walk Aron through what it is they were talking about.
Leo. Okay, you could still be respectful and still, wow. Okay, let me start over. I'm not assuming. That was a question I was asking.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be a question for them. But I wasn't saying that anybody was assuming. I said it was a conditional that if somebody makes the assumption that they did this simply to embarrass or humiliate Aron, then they're just being uncharitable. I'm willing to have a discussion about, well, what if they did it for that reason? But I'm not going to have that discussion until it can be established to some justifiable degree that is in fact what they did.
Yeah, I agree with you. But if we go with that possibility that you brought him on just to embarrass him, they could have still, they could still be polite. Like, you know what I mean? I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying. I just don't think that there's a reason to assume that's what occurred. Obviously, it's possible. I just don't think it's likely.
Yeah,
I think they wanted to have a discussion with a prominent activist on the internet on a topic, and when he showed up, he was just woefully underprepared, or rather ill-prepared for the particular style of discussion that was being had. I think that's what occurred here. This isn't like insulting Aron or that he has some sort of character flaw or anything like that, but I would be honest, and yes, I would tell him if I ever had the opportunity that I do not think that he is very well versed in philosophy, and I think that it would serve him well if he were more versed in at least places like formal logic and epistemology and metaphysics, especially given what he does on the internet in terms of engaging in counter-apologetics and secular advocacy.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't think he'll ever get past that wall hurdle. I don't know. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I can't really make a judgment call on the man.
I don't recall making that assumption, Brainbug.
What assumption? It's also uncharitable for you to assume that they were unfamiliar. You know what? That's kind of because
wait. So because Aron is prominent, everybody has to know who he is and what he does. I'm sorry, but that's not the case.
Well,
and when I first started watching Aron's videos back in like 2017 or 2018, I would not have assumed that he was as ill-versed in philosophy as he is. So I don't think it's uncharitable to assume that they did not know the extent to which Aron understands philosophy, or whether or not that's even a subject he's interested in, which it's not.
I think the point Brainbug is trying to make, maybe he can correct me, is that if I remember correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but my memory is shit, is that, Aron Ra has been very vocal about his stance on philosophy, right? He's like, he dislikes it, he hates it with a passion.
Know. I mean, in private, yes, but like on his channel, I don't hear him frequently say, "Oh, I hate philosophy."
No, I think he has, but hold on.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that he hasn't mentioned it, but it's not like something he consistently reiterates for the sake of his audience. So somebody who wasn't necessarily entirely familiar, I mean, just assuming nothing more about Aron than that you know that he is a prominent atheist activist on the internet, that he has a YouTube channel, and that he does a lot of biology stuff, which is, I would argue, most people that are on the internet that aren't like deep in the spheres like we are, that's probably about all they know about Aron to begin with. That's not enough to know whether somebody has an understanding of philosophy at not even an advanced level, but just a level at which you can have reasonable discussions concerning it.
But
I don't think it's uncharitable to assume that.
No, but I feel like we're both making assumptions, or being uncharitable in different ways.
Okay, enough bullshit, Leo.
Yeah.
What's bullshit about it?
It's a joke. Relax. Moving on.
That they didn't know what they were getting when they had Aron Ra.
Yeah.
Well, I don't recall saying that.
These little weasels knew exactly what kind of a show they were putting on. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Not going to assume
little
that, because
weasels.
Assuming that is exactly, you have to assume some sort of dishonesty on their part, and I just think that that's extraordinarily uncharitable.
Assume? I don't have to assume it. The fucking evidence is right in the fact that they had Aron Ra on his show, and the first question they asked him is about his epistemology.
Well,
I say, go ask a cop that.
You seem to be laboring under this delusion that it was somehow
why in the fuck are you going on about Aron Ra and his performance on this fucking Muslim channel?
Why are you coming at this?
Why are you going after Aron Ra?
Why do you keep interrupting me? I think I specifically stated that I'm not going after Aron. I'm pretty sure I explicitly made that clear that that's not what I'm doing. But the question that I had for you is, why are you assuming that it wasn't in the place of these hosts to talk about philosophy with Aron? That you make it seem as if they shouldn't have done that, as if it was outside of their place to discuss something with Aron that he doesn't like. Well, he agreed to come on their show. He should have been prepared to discuss this subject, and it's obvious that he wasn't. I'm not sitting here saying that, it's bad that Aron doesn't
contact them, Leo, and you go on their show next time.
I would love to go on their show. I think actually I could have very, very fruitful discussions with those gentlemen. I think they were very respectful.
Was this
very,
Holmes's
very good?
Den?
No. This was give me a second here. This was on it's only got, I think, about 2K subs, but I thought the guys, they seemed well informed. Thought Adventure
I'll put
podcast.
it in the description.
But this actually, Leo makes some decent points in the perspective that, there are lots of atheists who are just pure, methodological naturalists, very scientific. They're not really in depth philosophically, and they actually have some opposition to that. There are many folks who are philosophers who are in this aspects of atheism, theism, etc. And as soon as they have somebody who's a scientist or in that vein on to talk to them, they want to go for the area that they know and that the area that the other person may not have a whole lot of knowledge. So if he does go on someplace where he knows they're going to talk about philosophy, he ought to expect that they're going to try to hammer him on some topics that he doesn't know. He should be like, this isn't my area. I just don't know that. And be okay with that.
I don't think that's what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying,
anyways, personally, what I think is that there should be a balance between the two. You should be in the mythological naturalism, but you should also be not well versed, but at least well versed in philosophy. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I mean,
that leads into the discussion of the lacktheist. Is the lacktheist obligated to know anything about Christianity, or do any more than just not believe in God or in
obligated? Obligated to?
Obligated,
no,
right. Is he obligated to?
It really depends on the circumstance. If you don't engage in debates or discussions on Christianity and you consider yourself a lacktheist, you're not obligated to understand Christianity. However, regardless of what you believe, if you are engaging in debates and discussions on Christianity, I would argue you at least ought be informed on what Christianity is. I mean, obviously, it's not like you don't have to understand something to debate it. We see that all the time on the internet. But I think we all can agree that if somebody is going to engage in debates and discourse on some subject or topic, they ought to have a reasonable understanding of it.
Right.
And an accurate one.
I have very little understanding of Christianity or the Bible. I do understand their definition of God as being some sort of being outside of the universe that has a mind. And that's all I need to know in order to be an atheist, not an agnostic. not not a lack theist, but an atheist. Other than that, I don't need to know anything about Christianity. I do get a little fed up with atheists going after the problem of evil and all of these little biblical problems.
I don't think the problem of evil is necessarily biblical.
Well, yeah. Well, no, really? What?
Well, not necessarily biblical. I would argue that generally somebody who's just merely a theist isn't going to be necessarily worried about the problem of evil. It comes down to what particular attributes you consider God having. If like omnibenevolence or, moral perfection is a part of that, then I think that there is a case to be made with the problem of evil against that kind of God. But then again, it just comes down to the circumstances and what attributes you think God has.
Is there any variety of theism that doesn't think of the God as being a mind, or having a mind, or will, or creative power, or planning, or any of that shit? Like an agent. Is there a version of theism that doesn't require think of God as that?
Probably some form of Buddhism.
Pantheism. Well, pantheism isn't actually a form of theism. Pantheism is technically classified under non-theism.
Yeah, but Simos, once you get there, how is that any different than just the universe?
It's not. I mean, practically, it's not. Except that you might think of something to use Darth's phrase. You need something to sustain and ground the uniformity of nature.
Like what would that mean? How would you?
How long's a piece of string? Speed, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a hard atheist. I think it's all bullshit. But I understand when they talk about, they feel lost because they need someone to tell them what the purpose is in life, right? And this is. They need to feel they have a purpose, and in order to do that, they need to feel that it's not just random, right? And this false dichotomy that they create in their own heads is where their anxiety comes from, I feel. And
okay, mechanical theism. That would be interesting.
What the fuck is mechanical theism?
A mechanical god, kind of like Coin-Operated Boy. I don't know if you know that song or not. A Coin-Operated Boy.
I mean, everybody used to think that.
Who just joined?
Before Darwin, obviously.
I'm going to guess. I
can't see.
I was going to guess Cerberus, but okay, mutable works too.
It's mutable. Everybody's so happy that I joined. Wow.
Yeah, I am.
Well, sorry, but you're not Serb.
It's nice to see you.
Okay. Well, thank you. At least some people care that I exist.
I mean, come on, we talk all the time.
I do. I do. Me and the imaginary god.
Hey, there we go. The scariest god is the one that's in your head, and not the one that you can't turn off.
I did want to
that's where the anxiety comes from, immutable.
I did want to respond to Brainbug really quickly. Aron was not aware that they were bringing him in to talk philosophy, but I don't think he should have been prepared to discuss the subject. And assuming that people are going to discuss it within a framework you're comfortable with, it's just kind of a bad assumption to make. Like when I went into my debate last night, I didn't assume that the framework from which we were going to be examining socialism versus capitalism was going to be from the framework that I would necessarily prefer or be the most well-versed in. I had to prepare and ensure that I could defend this worldview, this ideology that I hold to from what I would argue would be any perspective that it could be attacked from, because I want to defend my position in the most substantive manner possible. And I think that having a broad understanding of the subject and being able to approach it, or rather defend it cogently from a variety of different ways and within a variety of different frameworks is best.
Yeah, but Leo, you're actually interested in the topic. He said multiple times he's not. So
wait. So then, why did he agree to go on their channel if he did not? If he wasn't interested,
Leo, take it up. Leo, I'll give you Aron's email.
He's not interested in philosophy.
Yeah, ask him yourself. I don't know. I'm just saying.
The topic that they were discussing doesn't necessarily being exist. I have a feeling as a topic Aron has quite some interest in, considering he's made a life talking about that exact thing.
Yeah.
The fact that he was ill-prepared to approach it from a philosophical perspective is not something that Aron did wrong, at least from a moral or an ethical standpoint, nor is this the result of deceit on behalf of his hosts on this channel. It's just that he was ill-prepared to handle a discussion on a topic from or within a particular framework. That was the only point that I was trying to bring up.
Okay, enough. I'll give you his email. You can take it up with him.
Yeah.
What's going
Pick it
on
up with who?
LPP?
Aron.
Steve? Gee,
What?
look, I just noticed there's a picture of LPP's channel. I was just wondering what was going on over there.
Yeah,
doing
shouldn't we get
What
back
kind
to
of
the video?
zany antics are they up to?
Oh, well, I just caught this little part because I didn't listen to too much of this yet. He was going on about some Scott dude who he doesn't like.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's probably an
Okay.
asshole.
Yeah,
don't
but
like
Dude,
Scott.
yeah,
Wait,
sounds like
wait. Are they talking about you, Scott? What?
no, different Scott.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
that noteworthy.
Yeah, that caught my attention when they said Scott. I thought, our Scott? And no, it was this other
Calling
guy.
out unclown. He's
It-
calling out
it was the-
unclown.
It was the guy that was telling him over and over that he was trolling him,
Yeah.
and John didn't seem to get that he was trolling him. That we covered that yesterday, I think. But anyway, but gotta hate to play smoky clips, but he said something. Let's see what you think.
Dude, well, hold on, bro. We got a presupposition here that people like that are actually murdering people's souls and trying to drag them down to the pit with them in ignorance, stupidity, and confirmation bias.
Okay, that was it. That's all I had.
Why are we listening to this dumb shit? Blovey.
No, but
Really? Come on now.
okay, his idea is that atheists and basically people that talk about evolution are murdering people's souls and dragging them down into the pit of stupidity. And
I don't know how
fire.
you murder something that's not real.
Well, but that's the idea, right? So, what do you think of that idea?
I don't know. I mean, it's amazing to me that Smokey has any capacity to make judgments, given some of the stupid shit he's done on the internet.
There's
I mean,
Smoky and-
I feel like I should leave right now.
Why?
You always do that. You just disappear, but why?
Well,
I'm glad you talked about it this time instead of just leaving. Like, why do you just suddenly disappear? What the fuck is up with that?
I can never get a word in edgewise, so rather than say I'm leaving, I just leave. Although sometimes I do put it in the side chat. Whether
Okay.
people notice or not, that's up to them. But I do
there we
say it.
go.
What?
There will always be a way for him to. There will always be a way for us to know.
Yep, we know. We know when you leave. Okay, so who's this linguisty guy? Did you listen to him at all? He was pretty cool.
Nope. I didn't know that this thing happened on LPP's channel because I'm not subscribed and I don't follow them entirely too closely.
Oh, you're not
Yeah,
subscribed?
he was live yesterday, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
So was Praise.
If I wanted to listen to a man almost in his 40s, like have an aneurysm over very minor things, there's plenty of platforms I could go to that are far more entertaining than LPP.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to see what was up with this Scott dude. I don't know what it was. Apparently Scott really pissed him off the day before, so he had to do another show on it. And he actually did a teaser trailer to call him out like about 2 hours before. And I don't know. Anyway, this is the weather report, so I'm obligated to report that John Maddox had a stream last night. So there you go.
Well,
Okay.
I'm obligated to. I don't know what the fuck I'm obligated to do.
I'm obligated to ask a question, which is why is it that most creationists will bring up like the design argument, but actually won't talk about like what the design argument entails? Like teleology and teleonomy.
That's something I've brought up. If you're sort of alluding to the thing that I think you are, I don't know, but it brings up in my mind something that I brought up to Atangelo, because it's funny when you make the argument that the universe and the way that it is governed and the way that it operates mechanistically is such that it allows for the existence of life, and then in practically the same breath turn around and say that it's impossible for the natural world, the same thing that you just claimed was finely tuned for life, to develop life naturally.
Yeah, I mean,
It is. Go ahead.
I think there's an open question. I mean, and one of the things is, does the universe favor life as a process? Like, does it, like, if you take a random sample or essentially like a random sample of the universe, are you likely to find life in that area, or are you not likely to find life in that area?
I bet. Yeah. No, I
We
don't.
have
I
many
don't
planets.
I mean, I think there's been a lot of work on this. That, like, life is rare. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it may be that there are other.
Sorry,
That's so funny.
What's funny about it?
That's Chris. No, Christopher's comment, not you. Sorry.
Oh.
No, that's
Sorry.
It's
I
a
wasn't
good
laughing
question.
at you.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I was saying.
Yeah, my bad.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, like the weird thing about that is the places we don't think life should exist, like areas that are extremely like high pressure or extremely hot or extremely acidic or basic environments, we find life there. We find extremophilic life that occupy these kind of like desolate and otherwise, places where you wouldn't expect life to exist or thrive at all.
How about Saturn?
One of the things about the fact that we observe life existing in environments we wouldn't traditionally expect to find life forms is that the chances of life evolving or developing from just pure chemistry in those environments is slim to practically fuck all. So life can exist in these extreme environments, but I don't think that it could develop in those environments. It would have to develop elsewhere and fall into those environments in some way, at which point it modifies it to the extent that it can now survive within those environments. So, but as it relates to the fine-tuning, I have to ask what is meant by fine-tuning whenever I face somebody bringing that argument, because to me, it seems that when somebody makes the fine-tuning argument, that they must presuppose that life has some privileged
that it should have been
in the universe, in reality, when I think that would first need to be justified, and I don't know how one goes about justifying that in any cogent manner.
Nor do I. I mean, the thing is, like, you brought up an interesting point earlier, which is that if you just look at it from a chemical...
Sorry, dudes. What?
What's up?
It's the puddle thing, right?
But there's a difference between having whatever it is, 3.5 billion years of evolution, to having, I don't know, black holes, right? There's a difference here. It's not incomprehensible to say life is rare because of the circumstances that are required in order to sustain and evolve life to the degree that it has here on Earth. I mean, that's not uncontroversial.
Right. I mean, I think the ultimate question regarding the origin of life is not a matter of chemistry. It's not a matter of what chemical processes produce the right molecules or things like that. It's more so, I think, a question about environments and physical forces acting upon that chemistry in terms of what is it about, like, what physical process drives, these chemicals towards a state of, it's not really well defined, but higher complexity, if you will, towards the state of like extreme complexity that does follow the second law, but it's a very unusual state, or seemingly unusual.
Carbon.
Well,
just carbon.
Carbon can form a lot of different structures. Like, it can form structures that are not very reactive. Like,
why does it?
Why does it what?
Okay. Carbon. Why does it form these complex structures? When you press it in the coal, why do you end up with anthracenes and naphthalenes and all these complicated structures? Why does carbon do that without life? Carbon just does that.
That's like several decades worth of organic chemistry. Carbon is a very
we know that it forms multiple. It easily forms bonds with multiple elements, right?
And gets very complicated very quickly, all by itself, pretty much.
Well, also its ability to chain, also the ability to chain as well, right? It's also
Right.
Yep.
part of-
Yep.
There's two unique aspects of carbon which might make it like intrinsically more selectable than other atoms. That is, carbon has a very interesting tendency to form a rather healthy number of covalent bonds. It forms 4 covalent bonds normally. And the other useful property for, especially considering metabolism, is that the bonds that it forms do not require an astronomically large amount of energy to break and form those bonds. You can achieve that. You can get that kind of energy by coupling reactions with the type of reaction you want to make happen in the first place. So the fact that you have carbon having this ability to kind of branch off and form very complex structures, and also the fact that carbon can break and form bonds with relative ease, are 2 reasons why it's more than likely why it's able to.
Some of the reasons why, yeah, for sure.
For the kind of template of life. Although,
Yes, some of the reasons.
So,
even when you have carbon, the type of chemistry that surrounds carbon in various functional groups that carbon can associate with, it's astronomically complex, and it's not at all obvious or there isn't really a solid clue as to why life chose this very particular form of chemistry rather than others.
Life didn't choose any chemistry.
Yeah. That might be
why this particular chemistry emerged out of other potential chemistries that could have.
So guys, I wanted your opinion real quick on this. I put this in the description, and I'm wondering if this reflects my softer, kinder speed of sound, because I'm trying to be better. But anyway, so I put this in the description. Standing and poop.
Okay.
I think I was being gentle, don't you?
So wait, what is this video about?
He had a talking ass named Dr. Gordon Wilson.
Video unavailable.
Yeah, me too. Video unavailable.
Are you kidding?
Either the link is broken.
No, the problem is that when I copied it from my description, go to the description and click it there.
Okay.
Let me try it again. There's no space in the HD.
There we go. Dr. Gordon Wilson, a biogenesis. Abiogenesis versus special creation.
Did it again.
Who is Dr. Gordon Wilson?
Oh, talking ass.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Oh, he's he's some kind of. We talked about him in the beginning of the show.
I wasn't here though, so
he's got a PhD in environmental science.
So he's not an origins of life researcher.
No.
Jesus. For every one actual origins of life researcher, or at least like a biochemist or a molecular biologist who is significantly more qualified to comment on that Standing for Truth has on, he has like 4 or 5 other people that are not even remotely qualified to comment on origins of life commenting on origins of life. It is just the funniest thing ever.
I listened to him for 10 minutes and I decided he's a talking ass. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that think I'm a talking ass too. So
yeah, me too.
So if we want to still talk about the fine tuning and stuff, let's talk about something simple and more relative to like what we just had, like the storm and stuff. There were tornadoes and stuff happening. So the fine tuning to make a tornado would be easier to talk about than life.
When it comes to fine tuning arguments, before I can really dive into it, the first thing I said earlier is I have to know what that particular person means when they say fine tuned. What I guess something along the lines of what sorts of conditions define what you mean by fine tuning. What do we observe that fits this definition? What does it mean for us? Because I think that one can grant that the universe is fine tuned, and that doesn't in any way, shape, or form get you any closer to a god or some sort of divine or supernatural intelligent designer.
it's like a balance point or like conditions, like you said, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say I'd be more inclined to say like that life is fine tuned for the universe rather than the universe being fine tuned.
Exactly. And it's when I had my debate with Otangelo on this. It's the first debate that me and him ever had. I think it was actually a really good debate. But then again, I think Otangelo, while I think he's wrong on a lot, is a good. He's a fair debater. He's respectful for the most part. But anyway, because I don't like the puddle analogy because it's cliche, and I don't like things that are cliche. So I worded it as: imagine that you have a fish that's swimming around in the ocean, and one day, the fish realizes that hey, I can move around pretty quick in this water. My skin is designed, it's sleek and scaly for quick and agile movement in water. I breathe the water. All my food that I need is in the water. Any shelter that I would need from predators are here in this water, in this ocean. It's almost like the ocean was designed just for me to be in it. Yeah, the ocean must have been designed for me. But we all know that's not the case. Oceans aren't tailored for fish. Fish are tailored to survive in oceans. So it's the same basic principle with life in general. The universe wasn't tailored for life to come about in it. Life developed in such a way that it could sustain in our reality.
If you have just... Whoops. That video is unavailable from that link. I don't quite understand.
Well, I got it when I pulled it out of the description of the video, so I don't know what's going on. I can post it again in the YouTube chat if you want me to.
Okay, I put it in chat just now. We'll see if this one picks it up. Something was wrong with the link? I don't know.
It must have been a broken link.
Yeah, that one works. That one works, Speed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, you must have had a broken link.
Okay. Bad me.
Okay, so I think the giveaway is the gown in the background there. That can't be serious, can it?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, how often does a professor wear his gown? I'm just asking.
He has a...
Didn't James Tour do that with his Origin of Life series thing?
What did he do?
Yeah, I think
he was in his regalia.
There we go, regalia. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
That gives you some idea, anyway.
Hey, Speed, I had another video if you guys are looking for something to watch. It's a little segment on Praise's channel last night. It was kind of funny. They all the theists were chatting, and it was kind of a funny conversation. Some of the crazy stuff that they were talking about, giants. Of course, those are in the... Yeah, it was kind of comical. They talked about the Smithsonian, how basically the Smithsonian Institute is like a set-up theater. It's a Hollywood theater, basically.
Is it run by the Jews?
The Smithsonian.
They were talking about this one guy, Alex Cox, I think his name is. And he was talking about it, talking about how museums are just basically fake. Is the way he described it. Set up like a Hollywood theater, and then they started talking about giants and fossils, giant fossils.
Are you talking here on Praise's channel?
Yeah, that was on Praise's channel last night. Yeah,
I watched a very small amount of this.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
By the way,
secular mum there just wanted to know what Stephen Hawking's exact physics
I was just about to answer that. Yeah.
Okay, you go ahead.
Theoretical physics and cosmology were the areas that he focused on.
Yes,
yeah,
I think he did his PhD on relativity, or he was a specialist in relativity early on. I remember.
And black hole physics, yeah, general relativity.
I'm checking to see who the genius.
But also, he was also he held Newton's post as well at Cambridge as well. I think.
I don't know what that means.
It's like
Newton had a mathematician's post.
He held a what post?
Newton held a mathematician's post. He was a
Stephen Hawking's degree, I think, was actually the PhD was like in applied mathematics and theoretical physics or something like that.
Oh, okay, that would make more sense. Yeah.
No, like Newton had a status at Cambridge. Is that where Hawking
Yes.
was? Yeah.
Yep.
Like Newton's status was like, I forget, it's called like the Lucasian endowed chair or endowed professor.
Yeah,
And
something
he
like
held,
that,
and Hawking held that same
seat.
seat as Newton did. They gave him that. So
Okay, I got you.
Somebody else is. Who's got that now?
Do you have a timestamp, David?
Yes,
it's gone.
132.
132. Let me write that down because I'll forget it. Let's see.
I will repeat it if you need be.
Okay.
Huh.
131. Oh, goddamn. Huh?
And this is from Praise. He doesn't. Not going too far then. Physicalism, materialism, atheism, naturalism. Any guesses that he's just going to equivocate between these four things?
Yeah, that's what they all do. That's why he put all of them in the title. That's why Otangelo, despite the fact that myself and Speed and many others in here have said we're not materialists, still calls it materialism. I'm just like, oh God.
I don't even know what the
Just don't
fuck a
get it.
materialist is anymore.
Somebody that believes
I
that
don't know.
everything is fundamentally reducible to matter and its interactions, except that the interaction of the fields from which matter arises is not itself made of matter or its interactions, and so isn't material.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
Which is
Nobody
why I
here-
am not a materialist, but I am a physicalist.
Yeah.
That's the one
Okay,
I go
should I
for
roll
as
it?
well.
Can I roll it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
What do we have?
Yeah, well, let's
Okay,
get rid of
Bob
that
is in
first.
here.
File down the hip bone of
Oh,
Australopithecus.
Yeah, not only that, but that was done way back with what's it, Piltdown Man.
Oh my God.
Pig's
No.
tooth.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck.
You know,
If I hear
created a
Piltdown
whole
Man.
skull from.
Fucking let it go. Let Piltdown Man go, guys. What
The
the
thing
fuck?
is,
I don't know what that
I
is.
believe it was Piltdown Man was like the one genuine hoax in evolution that was exposed by evolutionists.
Oh, there was the pig tooth in Nebraska man. That was the second
Yeah.
one, right?
Man, there's quite a
They
few.
They brought that up too. Yep.
Oh my God.
One pig's tooth.
There it is.
And his
Wait.
wife.
And his wife.
Even
It must have
better,
come
she's
from the
blonde hair,
internet.
blue eyes, way
We'll
back.
just explain. There was a professor at some university, can't
And the
remember
wife.
his name, and basically he buried a skull, made it look old, and then buried a skull, then dug it up and claimed that he'd found the missing link.
Yeah.
This was back in the 1920s, maybe somewhere
Isn't
around
this
there.
the, is this the
1908,
argument
1920.
that they use to like say that museums, etc., are just
false.
like, yeah, and then they cherry pick like they're the one or two or three people that try some shenanigans like this, and then that implies that all types of efforts are in that same vein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't get
so-
very far in the video, did we? Okay.
Sorry.
Is there, is there more,
I
David?
told you it'd be funny.
Is Jesus Man a missing link?
Are they going to talk about the giants that they covered up?
Yeah, they talk about giants and stuff in
Okay.
it too. Yeah.
Let's just hear what they got.
Wait, hold on. Really quick question, Speed. What?
Which one?
So wait, Praise says that they're covering up giants? Like covering
Well-
up the fact that they existed? Like it's a cover up?
Yeah, they supposedly found this row of giants, and they took pictures of them, and then somehow there was a cover up. There was a conspiracy to
so
get
it's
rid
all
of
a
them.
conspiracy to hide the fact that giants exist, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah, but like what on what assumption are we basing? Why would scientists want to hide these? Like it
It's
just like the whole it's the
yeah.
climate change. Like why would there be why does the conspiracy exist? And then you realize that they're claiming that there's a conspiracy, and that the conspiracy that they're claiming exists to perpetuate the existence of the conspiracy, and that's
Yeah.
the only justification
it's
they
also-
ever give.
No. It says it in the Bible. Same thing. It says it in the Bible. Giants exist.
For the
And then-
Bible tells me so.
If I found a giant in my backyard, I would dig him up, call my buddy, get his pickup, load him up, bring him to the Mall of America, and I'd fucking display that thing because I would be very proud of my giant.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, hopefully Angela doesn't find this paper.
Oh my God.
Wait, so link it in the private chat. Link.
Yeah, I know.
What paper?
We should all know by now that before we mention anything in a paper, it should already be linked everywhere that it needs to be linked.
Yep.
Yep. Here we go.
That's the thing. You will not get away with making claims here. You will be asked to back the shit up that you say.
The irony is that the giants were found right next door to Noah's Ark. That's the irony.
This is the Oboof paper. Yeah, I have this paper. So
which the what paper?
Oboof, I think his name is Oboof. Oboof,
published January 2020. Okay.
Yeah. I have that one printed out. I read it, and I thought, okay, no, it doesn't say what they think it says.
Have you read the entire paper? I have not.
I believe I did, but I can't remember. That was a while ago.
This paper is like long as shit. It's like 29 pages long.
Yeah, it's a piece of work. Yeah, and I think it's an argument for the extended synthesis.
How? It's talking about origin of life.
Let's see. Okay, life.
This paper that you linked.
Yeah,
it seems to be talking about just from how getting like 2/3 of the way through the abstract that they're saying explicitly that we should reject the facts that natural selection plays a dominant role in evolution and the probability of mutations is independent of the generated phenotype. I mean, the second one that one I could easily grant. The first one, that natural selection plays a dominant role in evolution, that would be false. I mean, biology isn't my particular area of expertise in the natural sciences, but that one seems like one would be hard pressed to support it.
Yeah.
Let's see. The current framework of evolutionary theory postulates that evolution relies on. I'd have to read this.
That seems a bit mealy-mouthed in the abstract. They're saying that there's a difference here between maintaining the genome stability and integrity. What maintaining the stability? Isn't that surviving? To pass your genes on? Isn't that what evolution is?
Yeah. This sentence here just almost seems tautological to me. It is shown that the adaptation of a phenotype to an environment does not correspond to organism fitness, but rather corresponds to maintaining the genome stability and integrity.
It's pretty much the same thing as far as
I was going to say, that just sounds almost tautological in my mind. I don't...
No, tautological maybe, but it seems like it's... Yeah.
Who are the Didier Aboof?
In a stable environment, the phenotype maintains stability. Well, isn't that what evolution says as well? That you need a change in environment to...
It seems to me that they're trying to fully reduce evolution to merely the physiochemical processes that occur in life, which I mean, in the real world, obviously it is reducible to that, because without those fundamental processes, evolution wouldn't occur. But in terms of providing an explicative model that only incorporates the physiochemical processes, I think would gloss over a lot of larger scale nuances that are very important to understanding evolutionary theory as it is understood in the contemporary age.
Yeah, I mean, it's because there are some species, for instance, like that went extinct for reasons that had nothing to do with their genome. I mean, dinosaurs went extinct because a damn meteorite came down, crashed into the earth, just made the fuckers go extinct. So, I mean, I don't know. It could be you can do that, but. Speed, what was your opinion on this paper, or what is your opinion? Or
I thought it was interesting, but I didn't have any opinion other than that. It was very interesting and had something to do with the extended synthesis. I have the paper somewhere with highlights in it. DNA molecules are template, producing polymers in a manner that depends on its physical and structural properties. Few nuclei. Okay, hang on a second. I can go dig it up.
The only reason I mentioned this is because I was like, oh, this is another paper Otangelo could reference, if only, could reference the name alone.
Hey, I think Sal Cordova already found it. So.
Othangelo's got Paul Davies, so that's enough.
It says not peer reviewed. Is this a preprint? Oh, it's a preprint. Okay.
No, this paper was published, wasn't it?
I don't know.
This is
Probably.
just maybe this is just the preprint that eventually got published.
Yeah.
Let's see. Concept paper, physiochemical foundations of life that direct evolution, chance, natural selection, or not evolutionary driving forces. Didier Abouif.
Really quickly, I got to take off, so I'm gonna pop out of here, guys. Much love to everybody. Be well.
And
Yep. See you, Leo.
Let's see. It was published January 1st, 2020. And it's still published in the same area. It was published in Life.
Oh, let me see if I can find my paper.
No, I was just only noting that, like, this again. It's probably just the preprint, so it had gone to the reviewers yet. That's all. That's probably why.
The one I'm looking at appears
I can guess why here. Some of this language is a little bit loose. You know.
Yeah, maybe a better copy. What is it? What is the title again?
Physiochemical foundations of life that direct evolution. Chance and natural selection are not evolutionary driving forces.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's good to look at evolution from different angles and try and find...
Oh, yes.
You know, there's no harm in doing that, obviously.
Yeah, there are so many criticisms of natural selection and evolution that, you know, it's worth looking at all of them because they all have an interesting thing to say. And I think the result was the extended synthesis. It's kind of what they're coming up with which just changes the emphasis a little bit. It doesn't obsolete anything. It just changes the emphasis. That's what we're into. So expansion and function, white fly. Okay, I don't know. It's not in that stack.
I don't know.
Anyway, well, we can take a look at it. And we could. I will look at it again and let you know what I thought.
Evolution relies on the fact that the combination of chance and natural selection does not provide a single conceptual framework that simultaneously explains both evolution and organism activities. Okay. Did someone claim that it really did? I wasn't aware that.
Was it supposed to do that?
I wasn't aware that it was supposed to do that. No.
No, I wasn't either. This concept is widely accepted in the scientific community. Okay, the evolution relies on random mutations. Okay, I think that is the key. That is the problem that the paper has with it all. That was all
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they make a case for. I think they make a case for epigenetics having more of a, which is just basically the extended synthesis. But we should. I should review it again and figure out what I thought of it because it was a long time ago.
Well, they're also saying that there's a problem with natural selection. That it doesn't. Well, I can't. You've sort of scrolled up, but they were saying there's a problem with natural selection and that it shouldn't be. Well, the thing that both Leo and I pointed out. At the beginning.
Here we go. Okay, they're talking about the bottom-up approach. And the top-down approach, and top-down and bottom-up at the same time is basically what the extended synthesis is talking about.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they're looking at it as basically a multi-hierarchical look at the whole thing, so that you can't just look at one thing because you've got environments and you've got environments changing, and then you've got populations and you've got variations within the population, and those are changing. And they're just saying that it's a little more complicated than we knew about in 1880. 140 years ago. Yeah, basically.
Well, that's shocking.
Shocking.
No, I thought that nothing had changed in biology for the last 200 years, probably.
I know. Who would have predicted that science evolved?
I've only just caught up on Florence Nightingale, to be fair.
Oh, there we go. Well, that'd explain a few things now, wouldn't it?
Yep. Okay, so I was going to play a little more of this clip.
Well, go ahead.
Why not? Why not? Picking apart physicalism and some other shit. No. Does he say materialism? He does say materialism. No, that is so 1950s. picking on materialists, you know. They just want to sin with matter. Those materialists. That's all they want to do.
That's all. Everything
White
they ever
eye,
wanted to do.
You know, the white eye look to make it more human. You know, we had a couple of, you know, hammer toes in there so the old people can feel.
Okay, that's bullshit. Erica covered that, where primates do have whites in their eyes, I believe, right?
Like they're part of evolution too.
It's they're white as their eyes. Yeah, they don't have that.
No.
Yeah, it's just propaganda.
There we go.
Yeah, it's just in the largest museums, though. That's the thing. You go to any major, you know, the Smithsonian. My God, just like really, you go through this whole section of it, and it's just like one lie after another lie. You know, you've got basically the dude from Land of the Lost, Chaka. You got him there, and then you got the dude from all these movie scenes that they've just taken the props and put in behind a glass, you know, box.
Nice.
You know, oh, that's our evolution. No, that's a movie set that you just put up there. Probably cost you $1 million to set that thing up.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
And I don't know if I'd like to see what your thoughts on this too is, Alex. So you know the film. I don't know if you follow them. The film were actually like hybrids or whatever. But besides, even this. Let's just say that they really were hybrids, whatever. Do you think the Smithsonian actually hit them, or do you think that's just a conspiracy out there?
Well, you're talking about the skulls. No, they hit them. They went in. There's a true story. When I was living in Tennessee, true story. They dug one up somewhere in the clay of West Virginia or someplace like that. It's like a 15-foot tall. You know, the skull was like the size of a beach ball. You know, I swear to God. And he had the full pictures of it with a Polaroid, dude. You can't fake a Polaroid. Okay, you can't fake the old Polaroid. You know, and he had the Polaroid pictures of it and all that. I was like, holy crap, you helped dig that thing up? And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, what happened to it? And he said, well, the higher ups came in and took it. So we need this for whatever it was, their project they were putting together. And then I keep hearing these stories. And this goes back probably 12 years ago. And when these videos started popping up and things like.
What'd they do? Make soup out of it or something? What the fuck did they do? I don't know.
Higher ups, mate. Yeah.
Oh, the higher ups took it.
Higher ups came in. Too big of a fucking skull. Let's get rid of the fucker.
Yeah. Well, they're basically saying that there's higher ups, higher than giants.
Yeah.
If you can imagine that. So giants are big, but the higher ups must be massive.
Apparently, man. I mean, I didn't. You know, Polaroids can't be manipulated.
You can't fake a Polaroid. You can't fake a Polaroid.
Not on the internet.
Yeah.
Definitely can't do that. There's definitely not a thing called Photoshop, and there's definitely not like exposure conditions.
Yeah, there's definitely not people trying to fake giants and burying fucking paper mache skulls and shit.
The problem is,
Piltdown Man. Hang on a minute. What am I talking about? Piltdown Man. They didn't even have Polaroids then.
Yeah, but wait a minute now. What did they do with the Polaroid? Did the higher ups take that too?
Apparently,
nice.
The Polaroid.
I like your thinking.
They took the Polaroid.
No, that'd be too obvious.
That's pretty mean. Well, you know, if you look at some of those boxes with those fake ballots that we had during the last election, you'll probably find those bones.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's the same higher ups, right?
Yeah, there we go.
They hit them under the ballots.
Careful, we don't get an FBI agent knocking on our door, wondering
I know
about these things. Yeah. You know.
How we know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just blame the Polaroids. Blame the Polaroids.
Oh, I was gonna. Okay, hang on a second. I don't know. I definitely timestamped it, but John Maddox has a theory that if we think logically, come on, atheists, use your brain, start thinking logical. The reason that miracles don't happen today is because of CGI, because nobody would believe it. CGI. Because wait a minute. Now he goes on. I gotta find this fucking clip. He goes on and he talks about how it's not cost effective for God to create miracles today because nobody would believe it because of CGI.
I heard that part. Yeah,
it's not cost effective.
What video was that on? Not cost effective. Yeah, he uses all sorts of his business lingo, right?
I think he was making the claim that given that like our current environment where we have things like CGI, that if God did do a miracle in the modern day, that it would likely be discounted as
Right.
And that was his argument to say, this is why you're not seeing miracles today. But I was actually, when I heard that, the first thing I thought of was, wait a second. So today we have a world where information can get spread all over the place. So if God actually wanted to convert more people, you would think that he would be doing miracles now, because that miracle could be exposed to billions of people, as opposed to 2,000 years ago when only a small select group would have them happen to it. So I thought his analogy was weak.
But you know, he's so smart that I listened to him and I thought, okay, let me work this out in my little atheist brain. And I thought, now what if God were to restore the Twin Towers suddenly, right? Suddenly in New York, they pop up again. The World Trade Center pops up again. I mean, everybody would look at that and say, oh my God, that's CGI, right? Everybody in New York. And God would have wasted all that brick and mortar, and he would have wasted his money trying to convince us, and we'd say, "Oh no, that isn't really the World Trade Center. That's CGI."
I mean, if somebody got resurrected from the dead, they'd be like, bring in the doctor. They'd be like, well, wait a second.
Yeah.
We were able to evaluate that he actually was dead and there was no life, and his body. Here's another one. His body was decomposing. Like, after like 24, 48 hours, your body starts to partially decompose. Like, so they'd be like, we detected decomposition, but then suddenly somehow after 3 days, this person is now alive and that decomposition is gone and we can't explain it. I mean, where are examples like that?
I just thought it was really cool because what came to my mind is that Jesus must have a lightsaber.
I mean, I didn't know God was...
How fucking cool is the Son of God with a lightsaber? How cool!
It's pretty cool. I just didn't know God.
And
was
it's not CGI. It wouldn't be CGI. I mean, that's my point here.
Yeah, people have made a real lightsaber in real life. So
sure they have. Yeah.
Where was that?
It's not work the same, but
I can't remember where the video was.
You're kidding. That would be hilarious.
Oh yeah. And I'm pretty sure I timestamped it. It might have been one of my where I wrote it down. Damn it! I'll find it for tomorrow. I promise.
Nice.
Hey guys, I got to get out of here. I actually have to teach a class.
Damn.
No, I know. I'd rather be on here, but whatever.
Typical atheist.
Bible college.
Teaching.
Goes out teaching people. Typical atheist.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, it was great chatting with everybody. I always like coming on here. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Take care.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're done with praise. I don't know. I might spot around. There was a lot of stuff last night, so it might be worth finding. But I need to find that damn clip. Where the hell was it?
Well, the
go ahead.
Screen share that I'm showing here with you're talking about the whites of the eyes and stuff.
Yeah,
they were thinking that this only straight on a certain type of ape.
Yep.
But then there's other.
There's plenty of other primates that have white.
You can see other pictures of from an angle. You can see plenty of white.
Yep. Yeah, they failed. They failed again, and they still perpetrate. They're still talking about fucking Bilton, man. Oh my God. I mean,
wasn't even in science. That was like something else, wasn't it? It wasn't actually in the science anything.
Oh yeah, it was like geology. Yeah,
it was something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you guys would get a kick out of that. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah, nice.
I thought it was kind of funny.
I like hearing about Piltdown Man every now and again because it just amuses me. It's not too far away from where I live, so.
I heard something this morning from Bruce Damer. It's called Progenote Science, and I think he's got. Did he have a website already up about this, or they were talking about it? This is just something new that you're going to be hearing about.
Getting together, they're going to do a website about it, and then basically have clickable links to different experiments that grad
people
students
can do to repeat
to see get some repeatable experiments done with their hypothesis.
Yep. And I also want to mention that Professor Dave's book is out, and you can buy it on very inexpensively on Amazon. And where is the link, Scott? Where is the link? What did I do with the link?
It's probably on another. It's called "Is This Wi-Fi Organic?"
Yeah. And I'll try to put a link in the description for that. Okay. I think we covered everything. I don't know. This Wi-Fi organic. Yeah, I only use organic Wi-Fi myself because of the cancer, ear cancer.
I just make sure mine are GMO because you just don't want any GMO Wi-Fi going through the air.
Nope. Don't want none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well thought of. I don't know if you guys know this, but they are replacing chemtrails with chemicals.
Interesting.
Yeah, latest.
Are they much worse now?
Much worse.
Now that they're no longer organic chemtrails?
Yeah, synthetic chemicals. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's not good.
And what does it do? What's the purpose?
Good. Oh, it makes your makes your teeth fall out as you get older. Yeah. You go bald as you get older.
Do your knees get a little sore and cranky?
Yeah, that's another thing. You bad back. Some people get really bad back from it. And yeah.
Okay, everybody buy Professor Dave's book today. I think everybody buy Professor Dave's book.
Okay. What is Professor Dave's book on exactly? Just so I know.
It's about bullshit like organic and, crap like that. Just debunking a whole lot of stuff. I think it's meant to be a fun book.
Good.
And, yeah.
It's a debunker book. Also, it'll be in Speed's name. So, yes, I am stealing his identity here. America, Gutsick Gibbon is having another book review of SFT's book on human evolution false or whatever it's called at about 4:00 Central Standard Time today.
Library of Errors.
Those are Library of Errors. Those are real interesting.
Okay.
But I'll put a link in the chat.
Cool. Let's see. So I'll put that in the description.
Is Standing for Truth got some education in biology at least, or is he just making it up? Okay.
No, I think he used to sell cars.
Sells cars. Okay, yeah.
He's a hairdresser too, isn't he? Isn't he a hairdresser too? I thought.
I think he sold ShamWow. In fact, the ShamWow guy, I think that's his real father.
It has to be. I don't know. He may.
They sound alike. I mean,
university or something.
So, just looking for a link there.
This is the kinder and gentler us, isn't it? Speed.
What's that?
This is the kinder and gentler us, isn't it?
This is the kinder and gentler us. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Was I a little rough? I am so sorry. I meant to be gentle.
I wasn't
and kind.
No, I didn't call him a fucking idiot like I usually do, or a creatard or a moron. I didn't say any of those things about Stanley.
Okay. Is it all right to drop the link for Serb?
Sure.
Cabarrus.
It's a little late, Serb.
Yeah.
What the hell? So are you doing it, Scott?
Just roll in here anytime. You want me to link him? Okay.
No, sorry, I've linked him.
No, yeah, Simos already did it.
Oh, man. You're fast.
Yeah, party's over in 10 minutes.
Well, 10 minutes is all he needs. He's a fast worker, that lad.
Is he?
He
Pretty
is.
good. So anyway, I want to cover this. Dessel Drayce has this assault on Buddhism and Ellen Watts, and he's really very serious about it. And anyway, I linked it in the description. He did a video last night for 30 minutes, taking me down. And by the way, if you're listening, Dessel, I am no longer speed of sound of gravity. The only reason I fucking did that is because speed of sound was too popular. But now that we have answers in atheism, you don't have to say of gravity anymore. So I deny that. Speed of pudding, speed of sound, that's good enough. So
speed of pudding.
Yeah, I like speed of pudding. That's the softer.
Embrace them. Why don't you?
It's the kinder me, you know. I mean, speed of pudding. I mean, who doesn't love pudding, right?
Very true.
Yeah.
Every time I hear an atheist say gravity, I immediately think of Desert File.
What?
Desert File?
Oh my God! Do you guys not know who Desert File is?
I don't think so.
No.
It's the it's kind of a meme. It's a little old now. It's an old guy in like a safari hat screaming at the camera, "Gravity!" Have you ever heard of
right.
that?
Yeah.
That's Desert File.
Okay, yeah.
He sells.
Oh, we got to get him.
That was a good program, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That came from debunking creationists, wasn't it, or something?
Oh, I think so. He doesn't do the atheist thing. I don't think much anymore. He's just being a vlogger in the middle of.
He's got a YouTube channel, right? Is that the one? Does
No
he?
idea.
Is he like old dude without a shirt and he's got a funny hat, floppy hat, and a beard? That dude?
Oh, he has a beard now. He didn't used to.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's got a YouTube channel here. Magnetic self-perpetuating power plant doesn't something or another. I don't know. So okay.
Yeah, he's a little crazy. Like he's an actual hermit.
Okay.
He's a desert hermit.
I'm gonna put his channel in the chat. He's
Nice.
definitely he looks like he would be fun to watch. I think I will subscribe. So how about
He's
that?
multiple times took trips out.
I think you cut out.
Yeah.
Well, you
Nice
muted
music.
That's
yourself.
why I tell you he's an actual hermit.
Okay, cool. It looks like it. Pretty cool.
Okay.
So, did anybody else watch Dessel Drayce's Buddhist takedown video?
I didn't know.
I did not either.
Yeah, I did not.
Which
Nobody
version of
cared.
Buddhism did he take down?
That's
All
a
of
good
them.
question. That's a good
Well,
one.
that's not possible. We all know that's not possible.
I know. I know. I keep telling the kid, it's like, come on, dude. There's like 10,000 versions out there, but he quoted the I don't know what the hell the suck 'em a dick or something or some Buddhist text. I'm not sure. Fuck you, mama. I'm not
I have
sure.
no idea what you're talking about, but all right.
One of those Buddhist texts.
The Vedas or something, is it? You mean?
Yeah, they all fucking sound the same to me. I don't know.
I know.
I just like any no good Buddhist would read that shit. I mean,
Or is that Hindu? Is it?
Yeah, that's Hindu, the Vedas.
Okay.
Yeah, the non-theistic Buddhists are basically just monks that meditate a lot.
yeah.
Like, what do you take it down exactly?
I don't know. I thought that was a very Western thing anyway. I didn't think there was an Eastern version of Buddhism that didn't believe in transcendental.
I think there's a case to be made for some of the Eastern sects pretty much not really believing in. Well, of course, it was all written a long time ago, right?
Yep.
And I'm not sure if they really thought about it, but there's a lot of non-theism in Buddhism if you look hard enough. But it depends on how it's written and stuff like that.
Well, the original Buddhism didn't have a deity. It got a deity. It got a deity when it moved into China. So there's the original, no deity. There's still some like mystical stuff, like the cycle of life and getting reincarnated and whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's no deity, and then there's the Chinese version that has like a great spirit kind of thing, and then there's also the kind that worships Buddha as a deity.
Yeah, and then there's the Zen kind, which doesn't give a fuck about anything. Pretty much. Yeah. Zen is pretty cool, and Zen is kind of, well, I subscribe to the version that I forged by reading Ellen Watts, and I'm not, I may be only 90% compatible with Watts, but I'm pretty compatible with what he thought. And he didn't ever seem to say anything woo-like ever. And he, I don't know, it's an interesting subject, and I'm going to get into it with Dessel. I'm going to try to reason with him. I think I tried once before, and he didn't quite get it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I remember there's a clip out there from like the early 70s where it's just him talking to a group of people, and he's like theorizing about what the future is going to be like, and he is like on the money.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, like he's talking about people having like computers, like well, I don't think he says computers. He says devices in their pocket to communicate long distance. Like he predicts cell phones and like mass transit and all sorts of things.
Wow, cool.
When did he do that?
It would have been like the early 70s.
Yeah, he died in 74, right. I think, or 76, something
okay.
like that. So yeah, he had to do it before then.
Okay.
I mean,
I think there was cell phones around in the 60s, but not cell phones as such.
No, I didn't think we had portable phones in the 60s.
But they had car phones or something, they call them?
Oh, no, car phones came in the 80s.
No, it wasn't that late, was it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was
About
81.
70s. Any.
Well, there can be self-fulfilling prophecy stuff kind of thing where people work hard to make an idea happen in real life.
Well, yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you
a
thought
Star
about
Trek
it,
cell phone or communicators.
Well, okay, there's a good Steve Jobs actually liked Ellen Watts and the whole psychedelic hippie thing, so maybe he got that idea from him.
Maybe he got it from Star Trek.
Yeah, maybe from Star Trek.
Too.
Who knows?
People have ideas and work hard to achieve that goal. So just like the Hacksmith, if you see, they make a lot of stuff from sci-fi stuff and then make it real. They even made a Star Wars Kylo Ren's sword.
Nice.
And they made a retractable lightsaber.
Well, I mean, I remember they've been trying to make a Star Wars lightsaber forever, but the heat generated by that sword, by the light, by the sword is so much that it will probably kill you.
I've seen them wear nothing. I mean, wearing normal clothes. So it seemed like he was using it just fine.
Well, no. I meant actually making one that actually functions well, like using actual lasers. You know what I mean? Like using actual, like whatever.
How do you stop the energy from keeping going on in infinity?
Well, there's that problem too.
Magnetic containment and use plasma.
Well, there we go.
I mean, I guess that works.
Apparently, 1946, the first mobile phone was created.
Really?
And in the 60s, they were mounted to car dashboards by the 60s.
How big was the first mobile phone?
Yeah, pretty fucking big, I should think. That's probably why it was in cars.
I had one in the late 70s that was like almost like a suitcase. Practically. Yeah. It was big. It was really big.
Yeah, this guy showed me the first color TV from like 1948 or 1950 or something like that. He actually had one, and the thing was the size of a refrigerator, and it had a 10-inch screen. It was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing how far we've come in like 70 or 40 years.
Yeah, we condensed things.
Really is. Yeah, really is.
I want to make a prediction.
I mean, look at video games, right? Like we go, we go from Pong to, I don't know, Call of Duty. That's the only one I could think of right now off the top of my head.
I want to make a prediction, a prophecy about the future, and it'll probably happen long after I'm gone, but I want you guys to remember it. Kentucky Fried Bacon.
No.
Oh yeah. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a big thing. You're going to see Kentucky Fried Bacon stores almost on every block.
Bacon is already what? Kentucky Fried Bacon?
Yep.
Isn't bacon already fried?
Or Kentucky Fried Beef. That's another possibility. I predict those two things will happen.
Oh, Speed.
In your lifetime.
Well, my
There's no-
lifetime is gonna be. Well, let's not get into that. But yes,
Why
I have a very-
Kentucky? Why Kentucky, though, Speed? That would be my
Well,
question.
because if you want Kentucky Fried anything, it's got to be Kentucky. Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Okay. You want
Okay.
fried something? Okay.
Kentucky Fried Bacon.
It's probably the most ripped off restaurant in the whole of the world.
Yeah. Okay, guys, can we wrap it up?
Yes.
Sure
Yes,
can,
yes.
Colonel.
Okay. Hey,
Colonel, yeah, there you go.
yeah. Okay, guys.
So,
we're
do you
gonna
want to
end-
stay behind, or are you busy afterwards?
I can
What's
stay
that?
behind.
Oh, okay.
I was just
Okay.
asking.
Anyway, guys.
Well, before we go, anybody interested in watching the gameplay of Horizon Zero Dawn? It's like a robotic future, robotic future, but with like primitive people.
I know
kind of
what the one you're talking about, and isn't it the
robotic
one?
animals.
Isn't it the one where automation is the thing?
No,
What do you mean?
you're future tribeswoman hunting robot animals.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds better.
But I have to end the broadcast and I have to get out of here. So
Penis.
Yep.
if you want to do it live, we got to do it tomorrow. Okay. So I'm leaving. Goodbye, cruel world.
bye.
Bye.
See ya. Stay curious.
Goodbye. Goodbye.